Under the Hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Thanks for joining us under the hood.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up.
I'm Chris Carter here to answer your calls at 866-594-4150. We got some calls coming in, but is there anything... There's been a lot of automotive news in the last week. I've noticed recalls. I've noticed... what I really noticed was the new Corolla. Did you see the new Corolla?
I saw a spy photo or a pre-production photo,
I got
and it did not look like a Corolla.
I got one. I sent it to you guys, and I can't believe you ignored it. Or you didn't say anything to me anyways. We
were talking to each other about it.
They want to keep Elon Musk on as Tesla for another 7.5 years to help with development and the furthering of the company. Can you guess what the pay path? They said, "Oh, here's your salary,
$1 trillion,
$1 trillion."
You can't. I did.
That's a T, folks.
I didn't react to that, but I did see it.
$1 trillion. Holy, that! Oh my gosh,
a lot.
Is that safe to say that may be the largest salary ever paid to somebody?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we broke it down. If he works 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is likely for him. I mean, he's kind of nutty that way. It's like $360-some thousand an hour. Now, when you think about it that way, for a company the size of Tesla and what they develop,
it's still ridiculous.
And what they make, yeah, it's still crazy. $1 trillion. That stock better go through the roof.
Yeah, I did see that, and I didn't react because I was probably in the middle of something else. It was kind of like one of them. Is this real? Is this true?
I think we talked about the Mary Barra from GM, and she was going to get a salary over an 8-year period of something, but it was in the low millions, and we're like, oh, it was like $5 million for that's crazy. It's getting up to like sports people. We thought sports people got paid a lot.
Oh, when you figure out like some of those sports people and how much they get paid per pitch or per yard or per.
The pitch one's funny because they every 4 times, they're 4 or 5 days off in between.
But when you're the master of your craft, I guess that's what happens. The market has a demand.
That's how I got this money. That's why I'm here.
How much per word? Chris, let's break it down per word.
Hey, I just told the truth.
Have we went past are we past a dime a word yet?
I don't think so.
Some of us don't make that in a lifetime. The minute, the hour. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk to Larry. We have Larry on the line. Larry, you're on the End of the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Hey, I got a 73 Dodge Charger that I've been working on, and the speedometer don't work. I haven't been able to locate one. Other than digital, I don't have that kind of money to do that. Is there anybody that you know that work on speedometers and the clock don't work in it either?
Okay. Well, you might be lucky. Maybe not. When you say the speedometer doesn't work, all your gauges don't work, right? The actual speedometer itself works, but nothing else does because the speedometer is cable driven.
The speedometer don't work, but everything else does except for the clock.
Oh, so all your gauges work.
The speedometer and the clock don't work, but the speedometer when the car is parked is setting on 20 mile an hour, and it's off about 20 when you're going down the road.
Yeah.
Well, the clock.
So it shows that you're going about 80 mile an hour when you're actually going 60.
Yeah,
that's a Charger thing. That's just for fun. The clock, I can fix the clock right away. I grew up in the 70s. The clock never worked on any car ever.
That's right, twice a day.
I've never had a working clock until I was 40 years old. Okay, next. Now the speedometer.
Yeah, so the clock will be right twice a day. So at least that you got that going for you, and then it'll be a few minutes off a couple times a day.
I think the car's trying to turn back time.
There you go.
So if I could turn back. There is the way that speedometer works. It's got a wheel on the outside that spins around, and then it pulls the speedometer up. So it should always center to zero. It's probably rusted. I saw those in the 80s that were rusted when they were 10 years old. I cleaned them up, lubricated them, and made them work again. The problem is you've got to make sure you use the right lubricant, because if you use the wrong lubricant, the friction will cause that speedometer to drag, and it'll be going faster than you're actually going. So it's a fine art. You can look at videos on YouTube of how people fix these yourself, and if you're very good with that kind of small stuff, you may be able to make it work. At least get it to the point where if it's just a few miles an hour off, you can compensate and know where you're at and get it to go. Otherwise, when you have a classic like that, it's sometimes it's what you want. You're going to have to pay for what you want if you want something. So you have to decide, do I want this to be original? Do I want to fix this part? Let's say that speedometer cluster is $1,500 on eBay because somebody knows what they've got and it's good and it all works. Do I want it original, or do I want to go to Dakota Digital and buy a complete digital instrument cluster set up for $700 with all brand new gauges that looks like a spaceship or something nice, or like their VHX gauges, which have needles, so it looks closer? You can go that way and have everything working and a clock.
I saw the Dakota Digital dashboards in an ad the other day.
The new ones are amazing.
With the sweep, go get that.
At the beginning there, he already said it's not quite in the budget, though, guys.
Right.
Now we're just making him feel like...
Didn't he say it wasn't in the budget to get the new replacement original?
No, what were you meaning there? We all.
What wasn't in the budget? What's the dollar amount?
Well, I don't know. I guess if I'm gonna fix it, I'd kind of like to keep it original. But if I don't, then that's fine. But I guess, yeah, if I gotta go digital, then I'm gonna have to save up some money.
I tell you one other thing I wanted to ask about, because Russ has tinkered with that stuff, and when I was younger, we tinkered with a lot of it too. Is the odometer itself still working correctly as near as you can tell, or just the speedometer is off?
The mileage meter, when I check it from mile to mile, it's about a tenth off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty close. But your gauge sitting at 20 when you're parked means you've got that wheel. And there's a gyrometer, I think they call it. There's names for those that part in there. I only learned it when I was trying to fix one, and I fixed it, and that was enough. No more.
If you don't want to fix it yourself, if you get a this is kind of old school, but if you go to get a Hemmings Motor News and look in the classifieds in the back, there's a number of companies that specialize in classic clock repair, speedometer repair, and you can also find them on a Facebook group also. If you went onto Facebook and you went on a group for charger enthusiasts and said, hey, who's on this group that repairs speedometers? You might find somebody that enjoys doing it, and they do it for $200 or something like that. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there. With technology, the communities have become connected a lot easier. And there are specialists that just they love what they do. They've got a certain love for that car, and they know how to fix them. And that's another good way to do it if you don't want to do it yourself.
Okay.
But we've got ourselves a Berkeley One Classic on our hands.
Hold on
here.
a second, Larry. Stay right where you are, because we have some business to take care of here with you.
Yes, we do. This is a Berkeley One Classic. Partner of ours, Berkeley One Classics. We play the Guess the Color contest. This is a self-created contest that we really like. And there's a hoodie on the line. Berkeley One is the place to get your agreed value insurance. And so we get to guess the color. And I think that this 73 Charger with a speedometer that's not quite right today is black. What do you think, Chris?
I, of course, think orange or red.
Too obvious, I thought. That's why I didn't go that way.
It's too new.
I already decided.
73.
I'm going white.
It's gold.
Gold. Larry, what color is your Charger?
Red.
It's a red Charger.
I got
red.
We went away from that, and we got...
I got it. I'm going to do that every time. I'm going to say, I was going to say red or blue, and then I'll choose a third, and I'll take red or blue from it. Larry, stay right where you are. We're going to send you over to producer Doug there. You're going to get a hoodie, a Berkeley One Under the Hood Show hoodie. Those are collector's items.
They are.
You can still get them.
Buy them and collect them.
Get a bunch of them.
Yep, get a bunch of them. Christmas is coming up. Don't forget about that.
Jump on our website.
It's like 9 weeks away or
I
something,
just
10
was
weeks away.
downstairs getting something out of our little prize closet for Nordstrom's Automotive, and I keep a little stash of hoodies there for when people come out to buy them, and we're out of extra larges again.
Oh,
I got to order some more up.
There we go.
On hand. We can get them all the time for order, so.
866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's talk to Donald. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Donald, what can we do for you?
Yes, I got a 2017 Dodge Ram Limited. So it's got all the bells and whistles. And the air suspension, the automatic air suspension that takes you up and down. About 2 years ago, we were coming back from a trip on the freeway, and I had it on cruise control. And all of a sudden, the cruise control quit on me. So by the time we got into town, I noticed that the air suspension would not work. It wouldn't bring it down or up. So, and it's intermittent. So I turned the car off, and I was going to call the Dodge dealership to bring it in. And the next day, it was fine. Nothing. So it was normal. They said they couldn't do anything as long as it's working fine. So then a couple of weeks later, it did it again. So it's intermittent. It's been going on for 2 years. So I don't know. Right now, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So what should the problem be on that?
They're awful.
That was a bold statement,
They're
Russ.
just. Was it cold when it did this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're
Well,
awful.
It was wintertime. It was at wintertime, but we were up by Las Vegas. I'd say the temperature was around 50 degrees.
Okay. Well, when they freeze, they've had some issues. They're nitrogen charged. They're not air charged, but they can get moisture in them, and then they can freeze, and the valving can stick and not work. But they've been a problem on those trucks, and most every independent shop that I've ever heard of won't touch one because they're a nightmare. You fix it, and it comes back over and over and over and over and over again. So the dealer, they'll work on them, usually when they're in warranty. When they're out of warranty, most of the people that have come into my shop have said, yeah, I just spent like $6,000 and they replaced the entire thing. I said, well, what was wrong with it? They said, they don't know. They just took it all off and put all new on there and fixed it, and that's the way they do it. I don't know what's going to happen with yours or what happens with all of them. I just know with a few of my customers what they've told me was done to repair it. There have been some companies that have tried to make some kits like Arnott to convert them over to a standard type suspension from the air ride suspension, but they're very problematic, and they can be intermittent like that, and they can definitely have a problem when they're cold outside with valves sticking and not operating properly. It's a system that if I was purchasing one, I wouldn't get it on that vehicle.
Yeah. Like I said, it was 2017, and it didn't do it probably until 2022, 2023, right in there.
Yeah, it gave you plenty of time. I mean, it lasted a while.
Fine.
Yeah, it lasted a long time, but once they fail, they're extremely expensive to fix. Like we've had, Cadillacs and Lincolns and different things have had air ride of all sorts of different kind and quality over the years, and we thought those were expensive. And then we saw the Dodge comes out, the Jeeps. I just put an engine and transmission in a Jeep for a guy, 2020.
Was it a Grand Cherokee?
Yeah, and it had the full air ride on it. And he said, well, I got to put the engine in it now. Even though the engine was about $6,500 for a reman installed, but he had just put the air ride on it, and it was $7,000 for that. So he said, I'm already into it for this. I might as well fix it. And it was a beautiful vehicle, so I thought, let's fix it. And that's not the first one that's come in like that with an air ride problem. And it was just, they replaced the whole thing.
Well, at least on the Ram, it's just is that a rear only on that one, or is that on the Ram pickup?
He may have all four on his. Do you have all four on yours? You got
I
the
got all,
limited? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's all four.
Well, I think if someone that's
First step is just to ask. Go to the dealer, say, what's it going to cost to look at this? Tell me, what is it going to cost to tell me how much this is to fix? And if they say, oh, we can check it out for a couple $100, then ask the big question. Typically, what do people spend to fix these? You've obviously fixed more than one. What's the price range? Are they in the $1,000 range, the $5,000, the $10,000? I mean, where are they? Because I can do that with my customers when they call and say, how much to repair an AC system? Most shops will say, well, it depends on what happened. You say your compressor's locked up and the belt came off, the clutch came off. I know there's probably metal in the system. That means it's going to range between this and this. And if they're okay with this, then we fix it. And often we find it takes a lot less and they're happy with that price. But you don't want to go in just saying, well, go ahead and check it out. You spend the money, say $200, $400. They check it out. And then they tell you, oh, well, every one we replace the whole system and it's always $6,000. No, I want to know that up front. Do you ever fix them or just single parts, or do you always replace the system? Ask those questions to protect yourself on the money.
Yeah, and I think that it would be fair for them, if you're going to do that, somebody should, we're talking about worst case scenarios, which happen way too often. That's why we bring it up. But give it a good inspection too. They could find that.
And it's working.
They could find that there's an obvious place where a wire is chafing because a harness fell off a routing area. They could find a corrosion spot, like, oh, this doesn't look good right here. This is a suspected problem. There might be something obvious that can be looked at.
Yep.
And that needs to be checked first. Just a good old visual inspection of the system by somebody that's knowledgeable.
Does that help you out there, Donald?
Yeah, what's that?
Does that help you out?
Yeah, somewhat. I want to know, can I ignore it and just drive it when it isn't working?
If the ride quality is okay for you and the ride height, yes.
Okay.
Because when it's not working, there's a couple different failures. There's one where you've got a nitrogen leak and the vehicle goes all the way to the bottom and it's stuck there. There's another one where electronically the system is dead and it doesn't adjust. And it's just fine right there. It's happy all day long. It's just right in the middle and you're okay with it. So if that's where you're at, you can leave it.
But his cruise control is probably not working.
The cruise may be a function because it may be saying that the ride height is not correct and the cruise is not being allowed because of that. That would be electronic. You'd be able to find that in the codes.
Can he, if he finds out whatever, can he bring it in and throw a quarter turn in it and put some wedges in it and get it
Put
set
some
up?
wedge in it, Rudy. No.
There's no physical fix to...
No, and the cruise may be a separate issue. It may not have anything to do with this. It may be, let's say we got a ground and it's affecting the cruise, affecting the suspension, and maybe it's affecting the flux capacitor. I mean, it could be something else too.
Do you have a suspension warning light or anything come on the dash at that time when it wasn't working?
Yeah, it says the air suspension needs service.
And that correlated with when the cruise control stopped working?
Yeah, my air suspension, when that quit, so does the cruise.
Yeah, see, and just to repeat, that could be because those systems, it's a fail safe to say, hey, if our ride height isn't working right and we can't judge that, we can't run cruise control. This thing could be sitting way high in the air and rollover hazard and everything else, or it could be way low on the air and we can't handle. The computer doesn't know at that point. Or it could be, like Russ said, a related electronic problem that is causing both those systems to have issues. But my hunch is it's an air suspension problem stopping the cruise control from working.
Donald, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
With over 2,000 episodes and over 200 stations, Under the Hood has the knowledge to make your car feel good. This is Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Don't forget, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you join the Hoodie Fan Club at underthehoodshow.com, you could win a hoodie.
Like Shane Wilcox. Congratulations from all our friends over at Berkeley One Classic, celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage, and Universal Technical Institute. Mm-hmm. You find them at uti.edu, because to be a good mechanic or a marine mechanic
Mm-hmm.
or a welder, CNC,
NASCAR tech.
all those people, a little training never hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. The market, it wasn't too long ago we were talking about how the market was really thin and people were begging for employees. They were looking really hard for them. Remember, we were like, oh, what do? We need employees. Well, that meant that you didn't need any training. But now, all those shops and all those businesses have learned to do it without, or they're gone. So the ones that have learned to do without are now looking for good qualified people. Thankfully, I have 2 good qualified guys at my place.
Do you think if I went to UTI for CNC, I could make fire rings
Here we go again.
and put the Minnesota Vikings on the fire rings while I'm still at Universal Technical Institute? Because I'm sure,
I would like to put the Minnesota Vikings in a fire ring.
They're already in the ring of fire. I don't know if their machinery, if their software would allow it
Right.
because of the trademark.
I just spell
You
it
definitely
wrong.
couldn't sell it. Yeah. But you could
One
buy it
hand.
made in China on Amazon all day long, probably.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking. I'm ready to go.
If he uses it for his own use and hangs it in the back shop, they're
Yeah, by the 7th, 8th one, they'd be like, "Hey, man."
I admire you two guys for your support, and the lines are going to eat your lunch.
there's a good chance they will.
But that's to be expected. I mean, it would happen to anybody.
I'm going into this game with if they somehow win, I'll be just totally elated because I don't expect them to.
Exactly. That's where I am now. I'm
But-
like, if they win, oh, neat.
But the
If
year
they
that
don't,
the year that you guys win the Super Bowl, it's going to be the exact opposite. Everybody else is going to be like, yeah,
it'll be.
I took us down a bad
Yeah, that's
road
not
here.
gonna be.
Let's get it back.
as long as you guys live long enough, you'll see it.
The other day, I was in the
Time
shop.
doesn't exist.
I was walking the shop at close, just making sure all the doors were shut and everything. It's kind of a nightly ritual for whoever closes. And we had a purple 08 Tahoe. Somebody had painted it purple.
Oh,
Okay,
And it was very, very
intentional.
used.
okay.
It was very beat up.
Okay.
I posted a picture on our Facebook, and
Oh my!
it was very used. It just, the door handles were broke. There was scrapes on it. The rocker panels were rusted out. And my post just was something about this being a microcosm of the biking season.
Absolutely.
It even though it's still bleeding a little purple,
Mhm.
we're gonna harvest a little good out of it, and we'll see what happens.
It's not something you'd pin your dreams on.
No,
There's always something usable out of it, is what you're saying.
yeah, we'll get something
Something
out of
salvageable.
it. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
866-594-4150. Let's talk to Kendall. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Kendall, what can we do for you?
I've got a 2000 Saab 9.3. It's got 75,000 miles on it. I've never changed the antifreeze in it since I've had it, and I've had it about 12 years. It looks like it has the green stuff in it, which isn't what it's supposed to have. And I wondered if I have the fluid exchanged, if I should go back with the green or go back with what it should have, and I'm not even sure what that is.
I would go back with what it should have, but it's as simple as this. Our partner, Peak Antifreeze Coolant, they make antifreeze for all makes, all models, all colors. Basically, the bottom line is they make the correct color for your car. It's not going to cost you any more than buying different coolants that are wrong for your car. And it's simple as going to any auto parts store and saying, I have a Saab 9. Can you give me the right coolant for it? Do you have it in the Peak? And they'll come out and say, here you go, sir. And they'll get you exactly what you need. I would not go with the green. That car was made for a silicate-free antifreeze, if I remember right. I'm almost 100% positive of that. And that's not the green. Somebody's drained it, whatever reason. They put that in there. It can be hard on some stuff. Even something as simple as when you're driving the car. We have had cars that had a fuel mileage issue because of the wrong color antifreeze. You remember that, Shannon?
I just,
Been
as
a
you're
long
saying that, it
time.
was just triggering in my mind.
And
yes.
I'll bring it back. The reason why, if you put a microphone underwater and you tap on the side of the pool on one side, the frequency that microphone picks up will change depending on the type of liquid that's in that pool. So if you've got a green antifreeze and it's picking it up at one frequency, when you switch back to the blue or red or yellow or gold, whatever it had supposed to be in there, it's going to be a little different frequency. If the knock sensor picks up the wrong frequency, it thinks there's a knock and thinks there's a problem and reduces the timing, which reduces your fuel mileage. So you're like, how can when I first heard that, I heard it from an engineer and I said, that's impossible. How can antifreeze affect your fuel mileage? Is it leaking on something? He said, no, it's this with the frequency. And he showed me the waveform and I went, look at that. Huh. And it's usually not dramatic, but it can be a couple miles per gallon in some cases, depending on the vehicle.
How should that be done? Should I make sure all of it's out? Should I take it to my local garage where they do an exchange or
flush it? I tell you what, they can hook up a machine. They're going to pull off that outlet radiator hose, put it on their machine, put their hose from their machine onto the inlet, start up your car. It's going to run through there. They'll be done in 20, 30 minutes, clean. They put it together, 100% of it, every drop's flushed out of there. It's so much easier than going and doing it all yourself. And they can use peak antifreeze. In fact, a lot of shops do. I mean, they trust that, and we use it too. So,
and the disposal's part of the job. I mean,
you don't have to worry about disposing it.
You're going to pay something for that, but
not near what you think. Yeah. Coolant's actually pretty affordable.
So you'll be able to have a nice clean job, and I'll guarantee you, if you haven't done it and you go to do it yourself, you're gonna waste a half a day in the shop. You're gonna buy a lot of stuff you don't need ever again.
You're gonna have a mess.
You're gonna use weird wrenches.
You're more than likely gonna have the hose pop out, and it's gonna go spraying somewhere that you don't want
it to.
And
you'll have such a sob story you won't want it.
There we go.
Is there any risk in doing it that it's gonna break something and he's not gonna be able to replace it and it's gonna be a nightmare?
You mean if he has it flushed or does it himself?
Just in general. It's working. He's had it for 13 years.
No, but it's time. If there's no damage, nothing's broken right now, I would flush it because that's a long time for coolant. If you were to go get a coolant test strip and check the pH of that coolant, you're going to find that it's way off. It's starting to eat stuff up. And those sobs will last a long time when they're cared for.
Yeah. Do you have time for one more quick question?
Sure.
The transmission, there again, 75,000 miles on it. The fluid is red. It doesn't smell burnt. Looks good. No shifting problems or anything. Haven't done anything with that either. Should I do something with that?
Yes. It is time for a transmission fluid flush on that. If the fluid still looks pretty good, you're golden. Now's the perfect time to flush it. And again, those transmissions do hold up a long time as well. These are cars that with proper maintenance are known to go a long way. We've seen them with 400,000 or 500,000 miles on some of these. So yes, that's important.
You want to guess what color it is? I think it's silver.
Is this it is borderline. Is this a
It's not a classic yet for one of those.
No.
I mean, it's starting to get collectible. The 90s ones were really, if it was a 1990 or 80s for sure. But either way, I'm curious what the color is.
I think it's green.
Russ?
I think it's white.
What color is it, Kendall?
Bright red.
2 in a
Look at
row
that.
for red today.
Kendall, does that help you out? Are you on your way now?
I'm on my way, and I thank you all very much.
You bet. My advice would be don't touch it. That's mine.
We don't take your advice.
That's
all the time.
true. Oh, ever. And shouldn't. Let me be very clear. 866-594-4150. Let's talk to Leslie in Minnesota. You're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Hi. Yes, I have a question on my 2009 Buick LaCrosse. I had an aftermarket catalytic converter that was put on probably about 4 years ago. And ever since then, my check engine light has stayed on. And I can't use my automatic starter. And I've been told that the reason the check engine light is on is because they put an aftermarket catalytic converter. And I'm not willing to spend $1,500 for a GM catalytic converter. Is there any way to bypass that check engine light?
No, not really. No, not without tricking something. And I know that's what you want to do is probably trick something.
Well, and on the LaCrosse, there is no trick because they don't make the tunes for those.
Well, and
unfortunately,
online sometimes you can buy a little
The O2 one?
O2
Yeah,
adapter.
they may have those.
And it pulls
that
you.
might
It
work.
makes the adapter, the O2 sensor, stick out a little bit further, and sometimes it doesn't read as sensitive in that situation. I can't believe I'm saying that on the air, but I know people have bought those and put them on, and it helps sometimes. There have been times where people have done an emission system cleaning, where they'll come in and you put it through the vacuum port and you clean out the emission system, and some of that will help clean some of that. The converter, the reason it was replaced in the first place, was it because you had a engine problem, or did they tell you it just broke apart inside, or was it contaminated because
it was smelling. It was smelling like sulfur and stuff, and I was having, it was like missing and stuff. And when I brought it in, they told me that's what it was, and then they just replaced it. I wasn't told that if I didn't get a GM brand that it could leave my check engine light on and not have my automatic starter.
Let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's talk about this a little bit more.
There are different grades of parts. There's OEM, GM, and then there's good aftermarket, which in a lot of cases has more material and is stronger and better than the GM, and a lot of times cheaper. And then there's aftermarket.
Those are rare.
Right. Well, that would be like a MagnaFlow or a Walker, the good ones.
Yeah.
And then there's junk. There's the cheapest ones, and I say they're junk, but what they're meant for is if you have a car and it's on a used car lot, or you're trying to sell it, the check engine light's on, you want it to pass emissions, and it's going to work. It just may not work for very long. I mean, it's got a warranty. They're usually 6 months to a year. I've seen some of them that are 90 days. They don't have a lot of material, and they're made for the situations like that where people want it to work now. It may not work later. There's no trick. It's just a poor quality part. When they put it on, it should have worked on day one. Now, if it didn't work day one, then they should have been responsible for fixing that.
Did this check engine light stay on right after you got it back from the shop?
Yes. At the time I didn't know what it was, but then the place that did it, of course, closed down and sold, and then I found out later from another mechanic that that's what happened. It's the reason I don't want to spend that money is because I got 193,000 miles on it, and I've already had to put a used transmission in it. I've had to put so much money into it this last year that I just don't want to spend that much more. I mean, I'm hoping to have another 50,000 miles on the car, but
right.
I just think that's outrageous for a catalytic converter.
Leslie, I'm going to jump on a little soapbox here for just 30 seconds or so. Some people may have heard I took over as the president of our International Trade Association for Auto Recycling. And one of the initiatives that I'm going to push is that we reverse a 1970s era rule in the EPA code and work on it so that we can sell you without problem a self-certified used catalytic converter that came off of a known good car. The car can test itself since 1995, 96. The car tests itself and tells you whether or not it's pass or no pass for the most part. And the worst thing that happens if you put one on that's not working is you have to get another one. It's just insane that they cannot be reused. And if that would happen, that would be so helpful for the American consumer in situations just like yours. And I've got a good friend of mine that's sells a recertified catalytic converters. They take the OEM ones, and they've created one of the only, I think, in the country, dyno type setups where they can test these converters and get the correct credentials through the EPA to tag them and resell them. That's a more affordable option, and you get a factory original converter. So I have hope that there's a couple options out there. The other thing that I wanted to say is that when that converter failed, if that's Russ, you know why I'm saying this.
Well, it's been 4 years.
Right. If it truly
still running.
If it was truly why that converter failed, because the converter went bad, okay. But most of the time, there's another upstream problem that causes the converter to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And if that upstream problem wasn't fixed, and you were starting to say, I think that you had a misfire for a while, and the misfire might have been
that'll kill a cat.
That could have been the cause of the catalytic converter failure, and they might have fixed something else along the way when they put that converter on. But if that car is not in the right state of tune, if that vehicle's using a little too much oil, if it's got a antifreeze leak, those type of things, those contaminants that get in there, break down those converters and kill them. Many times when Russ puts in an engine package for somebody because somebody had an engine go bad, it usually was an oil burner first. A lot of times they got to put a catalytic converter on it at that time because they can't get the flow out of it after they put the new engine in it. So I said a lot there, but it's a little soapbox moment because I think it's important, and we're going to work on that. But right now, there is another option out there, and our sales staff might be able to help you with that because we do broker parts with that company. But having said that, I feel for you.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot, and I would not spend $1,500 for a new one at this point in life of that car. I'd rather just drive it as it is and just realize your light's on. And
Can't
but
use
that
the remote start
not working it's no fun. But
Leslie, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. We haven't talked on our regular show about our trip to Texas.
not a bunch.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
We got to go down and be a part of the Toyota employee car show.
OctoberBeast. I did.
Yeah.
After the last show, we did post some stuff on our
Yep.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Tim from Berkeley One Classics had salvaged not salvaged. He had a picture that I needed to get a post done for our winner. You guys got to get your winners posted. We got to get that figured out. Did you have a?
I don't have a picture of him with the thing.
Do you have a picture of the? I have a picture of the thing.
Okay. The
vehicle.
The vehicle. Okay.
Yeah, I know I do.
Yeah.
And I think Russ and Michelle, I think you guys had some pictures with the winner. And that
Don't
winner.
start looking at pictures on your phone.
Yeah, that's
Put that down. Put that down. Put it
Nobody
down.
can see it except you.
That's what I just want you here.
The winner of Russ's contest was a guy that also has his own social media presence,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be something that we would want to make sure that people know about.
It's a pretty big one. I looked it up. I was like, oh.
Yeah. But no, we were down there for OctoberBeast, and it is an employee appreciation event at the Toyota North American headquarters in Plano, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it
And-
again and get in and really, really just like talk with a bunch of those people. Just walk around and talk to them and just.
Yeah,
They had so many cool stories about cars.
we did so much neat stuff there. We interviewed Rick with his 68 GTO convertible that ended up being more of a classic than he realized, and he's got a great story to tell.
I'll get that posted up on YouTube this weekend. The video, it's you'll like it. It's pretty cool.
We got a chance to see all these wonderful vehicles that were there from the employees.
Joe with the GTO.
Was it Joe?
Yeah.
Why did I
It
say
rhymes.
Rick?
Joe GTO.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
I'm bad at that.
But you were
sometimes.
going?
No, and then I listened to Russ had sent out the podcast, and so I caught myself at work playing it in the background at the beginning, and then I did some skip throughs because I wanted to get to the point where
I was stuck in Dallas with that air traffic, the whole thing, and it got worse this past last week. But I was stuck. It was like, I'm cursed. I can't get out of Texas. I might as well stay. Chris is like, no, gotta come back. And to get that podcast posted was a trick
I bet
because
you
I
was.
said I don't need my laptop, right? Because I'm going to be back Sunday night. So I'm trying to do all this stuff through my phone. It took me 4 hours to post that podcast to get it.
That's just about how long your plane was delayed Monday night. 4 hours and 20 minutes.
No, I was supposed to Saturday. I had to have it posted Sunday night.
Oh. No, I'm just saying, though, I'm just using a comparison. That was not anything more than that.
Right. Well, yeah, I couldn't. I was supposed to get out of there Saturday at 1 PM, and I couldn't get a flight until
So
Monday
anyway,
night.
I was listening to the podcast that we just posted.
So it was
that
a
Russ-
labor of love getting that
Russ,
up there for you. So listen
we
to
now
it.
know there was a lot more behind the scenes about getting that posted. But at the beginning, I really did screw up. And you guys were trying to correct me, and I wouldn't let you. Did you?
Yeah, that would be Chris, because I just look at you and go,
No, you guys, you tried twice to correct me, and
the thing.
and I ran right over you.
Uh-huh.
That's what I got out of listening to the podcast. So if you guys listen to the podcast, which we hope you do, you're gonna know
contest.
You're gonna know that I was a little more bullheaded than I realized.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Can't tell him?
I was doing the symbol for the. Is it a make and model issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I'm dumb.
And I think, were you thinking of that make and model, or were you just misspeaking?
No. I think we're on two different pages here.
Oh, okay.
It was about the sign that divided the sections of cars.
Oh, yes, that one. Yes, that one was funny too. I was thinking of the make and model one later. Yeah.
Here's your sign.
Yeah, the competition sign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The competitor sign.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what I thought it meant.
You thought it meant like drag racing vehicles.
So anyway, I was bopping through using the fast forward to get to the point where we interviewed Nick Miller, Vice President of Marketing, and just trying to, because I didn't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to get a flavor for it.
You skipped all that content. It was so hard to get it posted.
Russ, you're going to have to deal with it. I'm not the only one that did. I'll guarantee it.
That's
But hey, we got a view or a listen. But no, I went through there, and it was really just fun listening to you could hear all the energy in the background.
That we were worried that it might be too much, but it actually was really cool to hear it.
They had a background band playing. There was people mulling around talking. You could hear it's like you're at a fun party. Yeah. And we were right in the middle of it.
You should see the video. The video I had that cut out.
Before the sun overheated your phone?
There's a bunch of people that were walking in front of the camera. Like they would turn around, they were giving thumbs up and waving. And the girls that came up, they were all like taking a selfie in front of our camera.
Oh, that's fun.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
I should post some of those clips.
Yeah, I think we should.
Just that. I'll cut some of those out.
But that event was a ton of fun. And the people at Toyota could not have been any more gracious. The folks from Toyota Insurance, Michael and his crew that were there helping us, with the marketing side of things, and getting an opportunity to go inside and be a guest in the Toyota Experience Center.
All those cars and so many of them were brand new.
Oh, it was just
old.
The original Crown that was imported into the United States.
Yeah, the Crowns and the truck, the Stout. It's like I've never heard of a Stout, and there was one, but some of them were repaired, but they were still like the number one off the line. But there were a number of them that were never driven. They just took them off the line and they carried them and set them there. It was like there's a Tundra with brand new. It's an old to see those old cars and kind of go back like an old Celica. There's a Celica with 2 miles on it.
It was fun. I didn't realize as I walked through there how much Toyota I had in my early vehicle history. Going through there, I had Toyotas that I'd kind of forgot about.
And they have a flying car that actually works.
Yeah, and I got so excited that
you contributed to the win. That's posted,
including the gas.
Yeah,
exactly. Check that out too.
Look for the flying car video.
Hybrid
runs on hydrogen or methane or.
Yeah, it was just such a great.
It was parked next to the hydrogen cars, so
it was so much fun to go down and do that. And Jose, who hosted us throughout the trip, it just was a great. Man, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I can't believe, just before we wrap up this hour, I forgot to bring up the Toyota small truck the whole time. We had talked about the Toyota mini truck, or the possibility of them releasing a small truck to go with the Maverick. And we were at Toyota.
Yeah.
I'd had plenty of opportunity, and I forgot all about it while we were there. And the minute we got home, I was like, "Oh yeah, the small truck."
Well, did you see the look you gave me too when I asked Nick? I said, why not you've had Prius all these years. Why not like a diesel hybrid Prius?" And he just was quiet. And I was like, he said, "There's things I can't tell you, and there's things I can tell you." And like, what about a diesel Prius?
That was pretty cool talking to him, though.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, you have to listen to that podcast and check it all out. And we'll post some more pictures up on social media, a few clips here and there. So just keep up on our social media. You'll see a lot of that stuff.
That'll do it for this hour of the Under the Hood Show. Hour 2 is coming up. 866-594-4150. You're listening to the Under the Hood Show.
You're listening to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics, Shannon Nordstrom and Russ the Super Tech Evans. Shannon is an ASE engine and parts specialist, and Russ is an ASE Master Certified Technician with extensive factory drivability training. The Under the Hood Show is heard weekly on this and other great radio stations.
With Russ Evans, this is Shannon Nordstrom, thanking you for tuning in to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show. Have a great day, and remember, PTLA.
The opinions heard on this program, based on the many years of experience of Russ and Shannon, are offered for entertainment value and as a guide to your repair needs. No guarantee to repair or cause is given or implied. Always check with your favorite certified technician and follow all safety procedures before attempting repair. The Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics is reproduced and distributed by Prairie House Productions. Have questions for the Motor Medics? Call our 24-hour toll-free number, 866-594-4150. All content of the Under the Hood Show is the property of Nordstrom's Incorporated. Copyright Nordstrom's Automotive and may be reproduced with our permission. Now, let's go under the hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Thanks for joining us under the hood.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up.
I'm Chris Carter here to answer your calls at 866-594-4150. 866-594-4150. Don't forget, if you miss an episode, you can always get the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch the show on our YouTube channel, and you can call the show at 866-594-4150.
We can help you tune a piano. We can help. Chris can do that. I can help you tune a car, but we can't help you
tune a fish.
Exactly.
John in Indiana, you're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Morning, guys. That was funny, by the way. All right. I've got a 1970 Firebird Esprit, and it was running fine, perfect. You know, frame off restoration, been in the family since 1976. And all of a sudden, it started loading up and dumping a lot of gas into the system. So if you got a minute, I'll tell you what I've done to this thing.
I think we are interested. Yes.
Sure. Okay, so you want me to go ahead and...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to know a little more about this Firebird in general, right. So you keep going.
Okay, I rebuilt the little 2-barrel carburetor on it. That didn't help. So I had another one, rebuilt it, plopped it on, did the same thing. So now I said, all right, so I checked the vacuum, the timing, made sure it was top dead center on number 1 piston, so, you know, the timing chain or something hadn't jumped. Everything was perfect. I had an electronic distributor on it, so I had another one, swapped out the guts. That didn't help either. Then I put the original distributor back on it, the one with the points. Again, nothing. So I bought a new carburetor saying maybe I screwed up. Well, a new professionally rebuilt carburetor, and that changed nothing either. The strangest thing is it idles perfectly, and I even took it to an old mechanic in town. It's very hard to find someone that works in carburetors these days, or carbureted cars. And he took it and he revved it, did exactly the same thing, and he power braked it, and it started boiling the tires. No loss of power loading up. We took it back out on the road, it just loses power, went under load, and blows black smoke. He was befuddled, but couldn't look at it for 4 weeks. He is completely covered up. So he said, go change the plugs. I did. Wires, changed them too just for the heck of it. Did a compression check while they were out, and all cylinders are good. Turned it on, and just like before it ran, idled smoothly, and all of a sudden it just died sitting there. Now I'm freaking out. So a friend of mine happened by, and he says, well, have you checked your fuel pump? And I kind of looked at him like he was stupid. I said, it was just running, dude. He said, but is it getting gas now? So I checked the pump, and it wasn't getting gas. So, okay, I said, all right, it's the fuel pump. Ordered a fuel pump. I went on vacation. I came home, put the fuel pump on, and it did exactly the same thing. So the thing I decided then to start from stem to stern. I dropped the tank, blew out the lines, and put it all back together, and it does exactly the same thing. So I have no clue, and I'm hoping you all might know something different.
Well,
that was a lot, huh?
Yeah, we got to do some basic checks. We need to get a vacuum gauge and look and see what the vacuum is of that engine. It's still got a stock cam in it for a 70.
It's got a slightly hot cam in it.
Okay.
My dad put it in years ago.
Okay, let's find out what the vacuum is. Make sure we've got enough vacuum to run that engine.
What motor is it, by the way?
350.
What year is it?
70.
70.
1970. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you just got a dual exhaust on that, right? With just 2 mufflers?
Correct.
Yep.
No, actually, we ran it into one muffler. We wanted it. I had an original muffler that Dad had bought years ago, and this thing sat apart for like 20, 25 years. So,
you got the one over the axle in the back that sits sideways with the 2 pipes coming out of
correct.
it? Yeah, okay,
Correct.
gotcha.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you got we don't have to worry about the exhaust unless there's a big rat stuck in there or something, but that'd be fine.
Right. Or a potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a banana.
Banana in the tailpipe.
Well, he is in California, right?
Yeah.
You never know who's
Yeah, right.
Eddie might be running around. Yeah, so exhaust good. Check your vacuum, see what you got there. That fuel pressure, you got a new
It was
pump on
running
it.
in the normal. Yeah, I was running the normal range about 20.
That's a lot of inches of vacuum. Yeah, if you've got over 13, you should be fine for that, especially with a cam in there. And I would also check your voltage at your distributor. Find out check the positive side of the coil coming in, and see what the voltage is. See if you have battery voltage there while the car is running. Because if you have low voltage, it's going to pop and bang and misfire and not go. In fact, I ran into that with Shannon's Range Rover, and we're not sure because he hasn't talked to him. Did you get to talk to him and ask him about the failure of that thing when you went to Minneapolis?
No.
Okay, because he was going to ask and find out if that's why he originally sold it, because we knew something was going on. He got tired of work, completely did a beautiful, it looks like a frame off restoration type thing on it, but some reason he sold it, and we believe it may have been because of this problem, because it was just had some issues. And it was a voltage issue. It wasn't getting enough voltage at that distributor in the coil, and was causing it to run. And it was a simple mistake, but it was such a simple mistake that we were looking for something more serious. It just looked right over the top of it, and there it was. So if you don't have enough voltage there because you have an ignition switch that's worn out, or a ballast resistor built into that wire, which I believe that one did with the points, it could be failed. It could have high resistance in it and giving you 8 volts there, and that won't be enough to run it at high RPM, and it would fall on its face because you wouldn't have enough spark, but you'd have plenty of fuel, and it would suck that fuel in there, and it wouldn't burn it, and it would load up. I would look at those things.
Okay.
And it's possible too that so the carburetors usually, if they work because I'm thinking voltage issues, because at idle, if it works good, a bad carburetor usually runs worse at idle because it's loading up. If it's loading up above at a higher RPM, that's just not normal, because it wants the extra fuel at the higher RPM. But if it doesn't have enough spark to go, it's just not going to go. So does this Firebird Esprit have the dual snorkel 400 hood option on it?
No, that it did not come with the 400 engine, so it's just a standard old. It was Dad bought it for my mom, back in 1976, and
you could buy that hood option.
Really,
so you could buy a standard 350 car with no spoiler on the back and a 400 hood, and still have a 350 engine. It just would say 350 on the side of the hood instead of 400 on the hood. But I'm sure this one doesn't have a tail on it either, right?
You talk about the spoiler?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Those were kind of cool. On the newer ones, I always liked that spoiler, like in the 78, 77 and newer. But some of those older ones that didn't have a tail on them actually they just had a different look to them. The way they kind of cut off, it was kind of neat with the smaller lights that they had in the 70s.
When producer Doug came in and said that John had a 70 Firebird Esprit, and he didn't type Esprit on the board here because he just wasn't sure how to spell it, maybe, or something. But well, you said something like that.
Thanks a lot, Shannon.
No, but just he didn't. He goes, Esprit, Spirit. What was it? But Russ and I both looked at each other and said, "Did they make an Esprit in 1970?" And we had to think about it for a little bit. I didn't think they started making those until like 76 or something like that. It was That was something I've got a fair amount of Firebird and Trans Am knowledge, but I did not know that.
So I know somebody who had a silver 70 Firebird, and I'm trying to picture it really hard right now because it did not say formula down the side of it. It may have been the Esprit. It had a 400 in it with the 400 hood on it, but it had no tail on it. It was just the standard. The biggest thing I had was it had 15-inch wheels on it, which was like, ooh, that's huge back then. You know, most of them would be a 14. But I think that could have been an Esprit.
All right.
This is a Berkeley One Classic.
For sure.
Our partner at Berkeley One Classic. Get your agreed value insurance and take care of that thing. I think the color of this car is white.
White? Russ, you want to?
Going with the only color of the one I can picture in my head, and that was the one she had, and it would be silver, like a grayish silver.
I'm going gold.
I cannot believe after the last hour's performance that nobody said red.
Oh my gosh, you know what? And I just looked them up on the internet, and I told you the colors they were, but okay, I'll say silver.
John, what color? No. What color is your car?
Key lime green, even more rare.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to know the production numbers on that car by chance?
No, I do not. No,
Call Berkeley One Classic.
A lot of people want to buy it. They're two different kinds of people. One of them looks at it and say, that's the ugliest color I've ever seen, and others say, oh man, that's the most beautiful color I've ever seen. Never anything in between for whatever reason. So.
And it doesn't have a vinyl top? Because I'm looking here. It does. Ah.
Yep.
Does it have an 8-track player?
No. It just had the standard old radio. I still have the radio, but I put something more high performance in it.
Sure. John, thanks very much for the call. That is, that sounds fun. Good luck.
Russ is showing us a picture on his phone. Hey, we got to get him a hoodie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get him.
I'm going to put him on
set up.
Stay right there, John.
Get him set up with a hoodie from Berkeley One Classics.
866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. What has caught your attention in the automotive world?
Well, a friend of mine sent me a Facebook link, and I had looked at it twice because I was intrigued. And it was a production company out in Los Angeles that has made a car that looks like a supercar. I believe it's called the Zinger 21.
I looked at it.
It's on the cover of Car and Driver this month.
And it is a completely, carbon or 3D printed, AI content generated vehicle. 350 parts that were AI masterminded and 3D printed on the vehicle.
Front of Car and Driver this month.
Yeah, I didn't know it was on the front of Driver, but there was someone doing a little reel on it on social media. And the thing that kind of caught my attention was not that they built it, but they've already built 80 of them.
Oh,
wow.
And the comments were that this vehicle might be the first breakthrough on the way production is done differently than it has in the past. The capacity is there to do some things, but the technology continues to evolve with AI. But the way cars are designed and the way that cars are manufactured will be dramatically changed is what people are talking about because of the AI engineering and the speed at which they can bring things to concept. And
if it's 3D printed, it's instant.
And 3D printing, they can create. And this was, I think a lot of this was aluminum 3D printing that they were doing. And so it was very intriguing. I was going to look up more about it, but I didn't have time. But Johnny had sent that to me, and I was like, this is definitely intriguing.
Imagine a world not too far down the road where you walk in our front door to the counter and say, I'd like a fender for a 1976 Firebird. And they say, all right, sir, we'll print you one up. We'll have it in 30 minutes. You want to wait? And the 3D printer uses the AI and prints one out of, it would probably be aluminum instead of steel, but here's your brand new fender. Any part, it doesn't have to be obsolete anymore. Or an ignition coil, whatever it is, it prints the housing and spins the wire. There you go. And then all that scrap from the aluminum goes back in the bin and it recycles it and is used for the next. That technology, so many technologies with cars that we thought was never going to happen is here today, but that kind of stuff could be here not too far down the road.
Well, and they do that on interior parts.
Yeah.
You can.
Oh, there's so much more available now that was not. I was shocked. I get catalogs for my truck, and I was like, that stuff wasn't available on older ones, but now the older ones are available.
It'd be interesting to see how the whole manufacturing patent copyright issues come into play as this all develops. But I look at what Russ does right now. It used to be that you would own a scanner and you'd have to buy this subscription and this subscription and this subscription. And now you pay a la carte to the manufacturer per vehicle. So I could see a model where, yeah, you can print my fender, but it's going to cost you this much for the license, and then print away. And so, I mean, there's going to be, you look at Apple iTunes, the record industry had to adjust on how that worked.
We used to buy a record for $16. Then we had to buy songs for $1 a piece not too many years ago. And now we spend, $16 a month? They raise it every 6 months, it seems like. And then we get unlimited. Mm-hmm. And we just
I sit there when I do that unlimited thing, I'm like, okay, unlimited, I got a family plan. How do they make money off of this?
Oh, they do. Because we never shut off
the artists. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, that's
that
why
one's just simple.
That's why they're all back on tour.
Yeah, that's why they don't make it. the company, the Apple and Spotify are doing okay.
Yeah, but
and the record companies, they're doing pretty good.
It's a crazy deal. Yeah, you watch that, I'm sure, way closer than I do. But there's just certain things like that. And I think there'll be models that will change over time here that will start to example being what we've seen in some of those other spaces.
866-594-4150. Let's go to California and talk to Josh. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Josh, what can we do for you?
Hey, yeah. So I have a Ram Promaster cargo van, and I had it totally tricked out and made into like a little house, and I traveled around the country for a few years. And the van has been fine until just a bit ago. I had all kinds of electrical issues where all of the gauges would start to go back and forth. It would start beeping, saying the airbags are off, the doors are open. All the stuff was going on. And I couldn't figure it out. So I took it into a mechanic, and they tried a bunch of different things. They tried to do the VCM, the other thing, the computer. I had a dual alternator that he said that was shot, so he replaced that. He thought that there might have been some of aftermarket wiring that might have gotten done, and we've done all kinds of stuff, and the issue's still there. I didn't know if you guys had any knowledge or thought about what it could be.
What year is the Promaster? Just to get some context for our listeners, it doesn't matter a ton, but
sure, it's a 2020. It's the 159-inch wheelbase.
And is this a gas motor or a diesel?
Gas.
Welcome to the world of owning a Promaster.
Yes. It had been fine for like 5 years, and then all of a sudden this is, and the driving of the van, that is still fine. Like that, none of that has been. It's just been the electrical issue that just keeps on beeping when I'm driving. And backup camera doesn't work, and like all that stuff. They
can be a nightmare. There's a lot of those that the dealers, certain dealers won't work on them unless they're under warranty, because they don't have to because of this problem. A lot of aftermarket shops like us, we don't work on them because they're just they get crazy like this. And then we own one, and we worked on that thing for I think 6 months, 8 months to finally get it going. And thankfully it's working, and just let it keep working until I hope it burns to the ground one day with nobody in it. We don't have to fix it if something weird electrical goes on again, because it was an absolute, we had two of the best people I know working on it, and it took forever to and we were
it's been about like 4 or 5 months that's been in this guy's shop, and he's a Promaster and kind of cargo van
Promaster Pro.
How much
Pro,
how much money have you spent to not fix the problem so far for what you just said? It sounds like a few $1,000s.
And he's got a lot of money in this van.
How much?
The van, like, it was totally made into a house. So like I have a bunch of money in there, but like just the fixes from the mechanic is about $5,000 from what we've done.
And you still have a problem.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. Like he was doing stuff, he removed some stuff, and then the van wouldn't start at all, and then he got the van starting again, and then the same issue is happening, and he's frustrated and stumped and doesn't know what to kind of do next, and neither do I. And I've looked at all the different forums. I haven't seen really anything that is said about kind of the gauges flying back and forth and
like it all
beeping and all that stuff.
So Shannon, this thing is like working on that 99 Mercedes ML320.
Okay.
It's almost identical. Uses the same brand of electronic components, the same type of modules, just newer. So you remember how that thing was
yeah.
Where do we even look? And how do you figure it out?
That had a gateway to the gateway.
Yeah, exactly. And this one has the same thing. So it's this is crazy. I mean, I've seen certain vehicles throughout my lifetime. Oh, they never did bring me that car. The Fiat X19.
It's sitting out on the hillside over here.
Yeah, they said they were going to bring it. So that's one that had electrical crazy gremlins. The Triumph TR7, and I finally learned how to fix those. The DeLorean, they were awful. And then came along the Promaster. Yuck.
What do we tell him?
Yeah,
Good luck. I mean, I don't have anything.
If you've got it at, I guess, as we look at the clock here, as you've got it, if you've got it at a Promaster Pro that's fixed a lot of these,
that's the best place for it.
Has he ran across one with crazy electrical problems like this before?
Not this type of issue.
Yeah, there are lots of different crazy electrical
I would just
issues.
tell him to just maybe go have a beer, push reset, start from scratch, check the wiring diagrams, and truthfully look for pinched wires or where screws have been ran in for the aftermarket housing edition of the van. Look for something that's not factory. If his brain is exhausted his resources, he's got to go back to scratch.
And look at the data. Make sure all the voltages and all the modules match. It'll say ignition voltage and the running voltage. Make sure they all match, because if you got one module that has voltage that's 1 volt or a half volt off from the rest, that could be your problem.
Josh, thanks very much for the call, and we apologize. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Don't forget that if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and join the Hoodie Fan Club at underthehoodshow.com, you could win a hoodie.
Like Barry Randolph, congratulations from our friends over at Universal Technical Institute and Berkeley One Classic, celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage.
And UTI.
That was the first part. Universal
Did
Technical
you say
Institute.
That? I missed it.
We could say it again.
It goes back to our discussion at the break.
Yeah,
And Universal Technical Institute.
I wasn't paying any attention to you at all, because I got my part out, and then I was like, do you think, how long, since we brought it up a little bit ago, we talked about CNC and how they're going to be
The Music Factory.
working on AI any minute down there at UTI, probably, huh?
Oh, I guarantee you they're doing it right now.
And figure out. I had a fact when you talked about Spotify and Apple Music.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What's the fact?
Here's a comparison. If you buy, this is from a friend of mine in the music industry. If you go to a bar somewhere and see an artist that you like, if you buy a $10 CD from them, that is the equivalent of going to Spotify and listening to that album in its total, the whole album, 3,760 times.
Wow.
So if you go to see an artist and you like them and they have CDs for sale, buy the CD. Even if you can't listen to CDs and you want to support them, don't go. You can then go to those, but that was, and that's from a music industry person and performer.
So that's why concert tickets are $176.
I think maybe, yeah. And why they yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Earlier we were talking to somebody about the catalytic converter. She had the problem with that, so she couldn't use her remote start. And we had a listener write in and on our chat thing there. I said, well, can't you get a cheap remote start? Well, the cheap remote start's still going to cost you a little bit. by the time you get the bypass and everything, let's say at least $300. So you might just go with look into those used converter options that are some of them are available. But I like the way they think, because that's an option. You can always bypass a factory remote start with an aftermarket, and they're going to have a longer range than the factory one too.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you get a feedback remote. You can actually see what's going on.
I like my feedback remotes. They're pretty cool, because then you can see when it starts. And for me, it works good when I'm like in the mall or anywhere in a building, and I just can't see the car right here. I can't see the car.
Yeah, like at work, at the end of the day, we got a number of our staff. They come into my office and they sit by the window to start their car, and they got to be able to visually see if the taillights come on or not. And so the feedback remotes are great, so you can get that confirmation that everything worked like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Speaking of the chat, what are your thoughts? This comes from Strat Bear. What are your thoughts on VCM and a 23 Ridgeline? Should I install a VCM stopper? I'd like to keep this vehicle for as long as possible. Smooth, but concerned about long-term wear.
As long as you keep the oil changed in these vehicles, I don't foresee that as a problem. And I go by that off of what I see with our customers. And I have some customers that are 10,000 mile a year customers, and I have other ones that are almost 20,000 mile a month customers. The ones I change the oil on, well, they're more than that. Sometimes I change the oil on them once a week at 6,000 miles on these Hondas, and they're not having problems. We put one engine in out of all their vehicles that I can remember, and it was well over 400,000 when we put one in it. I don't think we put any transmissions in them, but they're maintained. Now they are getting more miles on them, and they're always on the highway only. That's why we go with a 6,000 mile oil change, but it works. It's a synthetic oil. It's factory 020 is what they call for, and it's fine. We are not seeing those problems. I have seen problems with those VCMs on some cars, and a lot of them were cars that were not maintained. And I mean, these are cars that are putting 3,000 miles on in 3 months, and they've gone 9,000 miles on the oil change. It's like, folks, that's no good. That's too long. I get cars in our average oil change that's over, like let's say we get, 10 cars and they're all done at 3 months, 3,000. But out of the cars that are pushing it and they're like, oh, yours is over the 3,000. The average on that is about 12,000 miles. Over.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so 15,000 miles on an oil change. And they're doing it regularly. Like, yeah, I didn't have time. And okay, well, that's up to you. Will the car work? Maybe. You might get 4 or 5 years out of it, but then when it fails, you could have changed the oil more often. But there is a point, too, where you got to think, is it cheaper to just put an engine in it or to change the oil? If it's costing me, in some cars, it's $120 an oil change. So if I change the oil, I say I do this 4 times a year, and I went 8 years, and I had to put an engine in it. Okay. But just the time you're saving by not having to tear it down and do that engine repair, that's worth something, too. I would just say maintain it. As far as this goes, I wouldn't disable it. You can if you want. I don't think it's going to
make a huge difference as long as you're.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change anything.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's talk to Gunner. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Gunner, what can we do for you?
Well, I got a 2004 Honda Element. It's got 301,000 miles on it. And I changed all the motor mounts because I had some vibration I didn't like. And after changing the motor mounts, I end up with a vibration at when it's just in gear at a stop sign or something. I pick up this vibration that's just abnormal and it's driving me crazy. And I don't know if there's something internal that's going on or if there's some kind of a balancer or something that needs changing in that motor. I have no idea, but I'm just looking for ideas.
Does it go away once you get moving?
What's that? Say again?
Does it go away? Does the vibration go away once you're moving?
Once I'm moving, it's gone, and then if I put it in neutral, it's gone right away. It's not like that. When it's under load, that's when it's showing up.
It sounds like the mounts.
Sounds like something's binding up on one of the sides of one of the mounts.
When you bought the mounts, Did you buy factory mounts, fluid-filled mounts, or did you just buy the aftermarket mounts?
I think those are fluid filled mounts. I'm pretty sure. I didn't install them. I had a friend mechanic of mine do it.
Check on that because they make a couple different mounts. They make so the factory ones, if they were fluid filled, they're very expensive. They will make aftermarket ones that are also fluid filled, which will cure the problem. But they also make solid mounts for those. And if you get the solid mounts, there is going to be some vibration to be expected. But there is a huge cost difference. One mount might cost $400. The other one might cost $60. Same mount, but one's fluid filled, one's not. You can look at that. Also with aftermarket mounts, some mounts are softer than others and isolate vibrations better than others, while other ones do not. They're pretty stiff, and some of those that are pretty stiff loosen up after you drive the car for a year. I've had people say, I'm not paying $400. I'll pay the $60. Let's put that in. And there's a little vibration. They said, well, I know what I did. I'll live with it. And then a year later, they say, oh, yeah, that went away. It loosened up. It was fine.
Sure.
Could something be on the installation over tightened and bound up? Or
could be.
They got enough sleeve on there. They usually don't allow that. But
sometimes we'll have a little vibration. And once everything's bolted back together, we'll just we may have to take the exhaust off to take a motor mount off to jack the engine up. So then when we put it all back together, we tighten up the mounts, then we put the exhaust in the whole bit. But then once it's all installed, then I'll loosen up the mounting nut on the mount. I can't get the whole mount out, but I can get the nut loose. And sometimes it'll shift. It'll go thunk, and it'll move a quarter inch or a half inch. And I just I rock it around and I let it settle. And then I tighten the bolts back up. And that may fix it.
Find a happy place.
Right.
Yeah. But the other question I had is, all these mounts wore out, the old ones for over time, and then I changed the exhaust, and the exhausts were fitted by a guy. And would the fitting of the newer exhaust on there with the new mounts on there cause a potential vibration point?
Could be that if the new exhaust doesn't have a flex pipe in it, you'll get a vibration.
Right.
The factory one had a flex pipe.
I think it's straight pipe.
That'll do it.
I don't think this one's got it. It's the performance pipes that were a deal that I got.
Yeah, those are good, but
didn't have that, so maybe that's it.
You can expect vibration out of that because that's bolted right to the engine and right to the body. There's no without a flex pipe, it's going to do that.
Yeah,
you replaced yours, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you can live with it because of the cost, or if performance, you can live with the performance, but you'll notice the change. That's why they put that flex pipe in there to cut the noise.
Does that help you out there?
I get it. That's perfect. I just need the confirmation on that exhaust question. That was the big one. Very good. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for the call. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
If it needs more than duct tape, you need Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. Had someone ask, we were talking about the VCM and the Ridgeline, what VCM means.
Variable cylinder management.
Like we talk about with the
GM cars have their version of it, but everybody's got some version of that, trying to help with their corporate average fuel economy to bring that down a half a point on a model over a bunch of models that are popular. They can help achieve some of their goals. And so that's what they do, is when there's not a load, it turns it off. And so that person was asking, should I disable that bugger? And I'm sure there was other people out there wondering, where they were going with that.
Yeah.
So
let's talk to Mike. You're on the Under the Hood Show, Mike. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I got a 2019 Yukon Denali. It's got a little over 100,000 miles on it. And I'm worrying about replacing the shocks, struts, whatever on it, because when I first bought it, I bought it used, had about 50,000 on it, and I really like the way it rode. And it just seems like it doesn't ride as good as it used to. Kind of jarring, and on smaller bumps. And then I noticed on the interstate, I don't even know how to explain it, but it kind of rolls from side to side a little bit. So I don't know if I got one bad shock or something in the front or in the rear, maybe. I don't know. And then I was told, too, that I'm kind of limited what I can put on that, because it has automatic. It automatically adjusts the rear when you put a load on. Like if I hook my boat on it, you can hear it, raise and lower. So just wondering what you guys would recommend I can do with that.
Well, I know that in the Denali's, you're exactly right. They've got a damper control on them that's electronic, and they've got a level assist also for like you're noticing when you put the boat on and things like that. And over time, they, especially up in the upper Midwest, if you're from our climate, they really eat on those shocks up and down. And we see a lot of failures of the shocks. Eventually, they tear up the boots. They get moisture inside of them. They just start ruining them from the outside in, basically. We see more problems in the northern climates. And you are limited on options. There was a time where I know we had a bunch of factory surplus ones, and we were selling them like crazy online. We were selling them all over the place, but I think, you run out of those eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And the factory ones, you can sometimes find a low mileage vehicle that's got a good set of those shocks on there. You got to match the codes so that everything matches. But Russ, as far as making it work the way it worked from the factory, you're kind of limited, aren't you?
Factory ones, pretty much. That they had a lot of those on that body style that we've replaced. The front ones will lock up, sometimes the back ones, so they bounce really hard, which makes the other side dive. Art, your dad there, Shannon, his was doing it. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Shock's out." And then we fixed the front, and it wasn't a few weeks later, one of the back ones went out. So we ended up replacing all four.
Was that before or after he ran over a spare tire in the road?
That was then. Yeah. So
with the rim in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go out, especially if you have a load on them, even just a bunch of kids and they're adults, they just fail. So you can expect 5-6 years out of a set, and then they get stiff. They don't bounce. They get really stiff. Sometimes the front ones will blow out completely, and they'll just kind of bounce up and down when you go down the road. And that's awful too. But so far, our replacement has been factory OEM, and they'll vary a lot. I see some shops sell those aftermarket or the factory ones for a ton of money, and other ones that sell them pretty reasonable. It just depends on where you go. When you're looking at a purchase that big on something electronic like that, it pays to look around a little bit, find out what's going to cost you. I mean, even check with the dealer. They may be cheaper in some cases.
Any of I guess I've never asked you this on those, but do any of the aftermarket vendors, you think like a big name like Monroe or somebody, do they make a replacement for the OEM? They
do for some vehicles. You've got to look it up per vehicle and per suspension type, because you'll have one that's just air ride in the rear. You'll have a basic one with no air ride all the way around. And then you'll have one with Magna Ride with electronic adjustable valved shocks on all four corners, struts, and that gets really expensive, especially if you've got that Magna Ride with the airbags.
I've done a little bit of research online, and then I talked to a couple different mechanics, and they were what I've been hearing is that the OEM stuff sometimes it doesn't last that long. It's not that great. It's about $3,000 to replace all four corners, no matter what I do. Bilston and Fox were highly rated shocks, but they're really, I don't think they have the ones for the rear because of that automatic adjustment. But there's another company, I can't remember now. I think it was called Arnott or something like that.
Yep.
And
Arnott sells some.
Yeah,
they rebuild a lot of them.
Yeah, they sell, and a couple of different mechanics recommended look at those. So
yeah, give that a shot too. See what's available. I don't think they're available on that one yet, but they will be at some point. They do a good job.
They seem to cater to that market. They find out which ones are the trouble ones, and
once they're off their patent, they build them.
Yeah, and on some of those, they'll make a complete system to get rid of it, but like on some of them, you're just kind of, your hands are tied because it's so tied into the electronic system on the vehicle. It's tied into the computer network.
Mike, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. Let's talk to Clifford in California. Clifford, you're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Yes. Can you hear me, first of all?
You bet.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a 1949 Chevy Skyli9ne deluxe convertible. I have a throttle linkage problem. The nipple that comes up through the floor, when I step on it, the gas, it slides from side to side. It's worn. and it eliminates me by gaining any full throttle.
I know what you're talking about. You're going to have to rebuild that, and you're going to have to build one yourself because you're not going to find one unless you found one in an old yard somewhere, and it's probably going to be rusted up. So what a lot of people do with those, I'm familiar with that yoke that's on there. You're going to basically have to come find something that looks similar to it and make it yourself, which can be tricky.
Sure.
I don't even think you're going to find something like that on eBay or anything.
Well, I've been looking for a whole year, but if I pull it out and weld the nipple longer, it's going to slide over, but I'll at least be able to get full throttle. What do you think? Would that work?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. The other choice you could do, I've seen people on that style design and on the trucks too, they would bolt a regular pedal to the floor with a cable on it, and you put the cable through the firewall and then run it up, put a bracket on the engine, and then that'll eliminate all your problem. That would work too.
Oh.
So just get the pedals all have 3 bolts, the little triangle, bolts to the firewall, and then you just drill one little hole in the firewall where the cable comes through, and then you drill it and then use a die grinder to make it square so that the cable will snap into it. Then you connect it to your pedal and then just run it up to the engine and make yourself a little bracket, and then it's going to fix. That'll fix it. The other thing you might be able to do is look online at a company called Lokar, Lokar. They make a lot of aftermarket pedals and brackets and things like that. They should have a throttle pedal with a cable and a bracket and everything to bolt to your engine that you could put in as an aftermarket setup. And sometimes, it's not going to look 100% original, but it'll work 100% good. That's all that matters, right?
That's important.
Clifford, hold on a second. Don't go anywhere yet. We have to guess the color of this Skyline.
It is a Berkeley One Classic for sure.
For sure.
I'm going to think that this is like, I got to say red.
I'm going maroon. I'm going to go maroon
It's
on
that robin egg blue.
Blue. What color is the
blue-green.
Skyline, Clifford? Are you there?
Can you hear us?
We lost Clifford.
Okay.
There he is. There now? What color is it? All right. Well, this is the worst thing that's ever.
He's there, right?
This is the worst thing that's happened to me today. No, I don't think so. I mean, the line is open. Okay. What color is your car? I'm not. I don't know what.
Just give it 10 more seconds.
It just fell off. It just came off. I think we had a connection problem.
We don't get to find out?
We'll just go with maroon.
No, we won't.
I was probably right.
It's never happened to us before.
What a poor timing too.
It was kind of like
call back.
Well, little known fact, Norma, they only built that Skyline in one color in that year, and so right.
One more question on chat. We got a couple minutes here.
What color is the car?
2021 Chevy Traverse or Traverse.
Yeah,
because I like that Traverse. Boom, boom.
Not Traverse City, Michigan.
Backup camera intermittently works and stops working. Yeah, that's intermittent.
Like every other backup camera in the world, it's probably under recall.
Yeah.
Call your dealer. It might
seriously.
It might be under recall because there has been a ton of recalls for backup cameras in the last. Every manufacturer's having problems. They were federally mandated. It's got to be so frustrating for them.
I bought my car, and about day 4, I backed up one time. Backup camera didn't work. I called the guy I was working with, the salesman. I go, hey, just quick, want to get it out, let you know right away. I'm not too concerned about it yet, but the camera didn't work once out of the 5 times. He's like, yeah, mine's the same. And I said, and he goes, everyone I've sold is the same. They just go out sometimes.
When they first came out with these, for like the first 7 or 8 years, they worked perfect and they didn't break. And what is it with the last 8 years of backup cameras? They're all junk. I got one in my truck that's 14 years old and it works just fine.
Once you get comfortable with it, you start putting it elsewhere. You start running wires different ways. And you go, hey, this wire could run this and this too. So we're just going to add on to it.
It's got to
And
be something the way it's on the
Some
net.
wrote in the other
network.
day and said, something's wrong with my backup cam. I said, yeah, they're all broke. He goes, yeah, mine keeps showing me horror films. It keeps showing somebody running over somebody with their truck. I'm like, what?
Seriously?
Yeah, every time he puts in reverse, it shows horror films of somebody getting run over by a truck.
I don't know how to take this.
That's a joke.
We do.
Oh, I don't. I'm not with it at all. Yeah,
Of course,
is it a movie thing?
we haven't run over it.
It's good.
So it's not.
What movie are we talking about here?
The backup cam movie.
He's saying his camera's broke because every time he reverses his car, it looks like someone's getting run over.
Okay, I get it.
There you go.
He
It's
ran
just
over.
the joke was he's ran
running
over a lot of people.
Chris just tells it better.
That'll do it, I think. Do we have any? We got what? Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to ask about that truck because we had just talked about it like a week before when we were down at Toyota. We had Toyota there.
We could have asked somebody
Toyota.
that might have known something.
Mhm.
I mean, we didn't have. They're only going to tell us so much,
Right. We did try to pry some things out of Nick that he was not, that he knew that was not.
So cool
forthcoming.
that he was involved in the launch of this when they brought the Supra back. You know, that was pretty cool that he had been involved in that with the marketing launch for that. That had to be fun.
So at the car show, they had cars set up by Toyota on one side, competition on the other. Competitors, sorry. And it
Home
meant-
team, visitor.
Right.
I must be part. Maybe fake hair makes you feel blonde.
Maybe.
Because I was thinking that it was like competition type
Well,
cars because
and
they
it
had
was-
there was like drift cars over there, but it makes no sense when I went back and looked at it.
But you are right because
Just tell me I'm not smart about it. It's fine.
No, but when you said that, here's what went through my head when you said that. I actually thought, not really, but when I looked at the sign from where we were sitting, behind it were those like the drag car
Yeah,
and
the motorcycles.
They
and-
were right there.
Yeah.
So it did look like behind that sign from where we were sitting, behind that sign was professional or
competition
cars. But yeah. No,
But on the other side, though, is what screwed me up because we had on the there was Lamborghinis over there. There was
because there was Toyota and then there was like an exotics aisle
that was a little further out.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of Toyotas in that one area. Yeah, I wasn't very smart about that. And I fought you. Twice.
Yeah. I kind
I
of
didn't
tried
back-
to
I didn't
get it
back
back
down.
Yeah. Anything else? What else? If you're here now, you're in kind of inside, of course. But what's going on with our app? I've had a couple questions about that.
Well, this will
Thought
be
we
on
could
the
explain it.
podcast as well as the YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're listening here because you used our app before, that app is gone.
The Under the Hood Show
we
app.
mentioned it several times before, and you might have missed it somewhere. Maybe it got cut. I don't know. But
Well, and here's the thing: it's still there. I can still use it. It just doesn't work.
it's dead. They're completely shutting the whole thing and removing it.
Well,
very
that'll be
quick.
good because it doesn't.
Yeah,
It
once
doesn't
it
update.
stops getting updated, the app store for Apple will remove it.
Okay.
It's going to be removed, and that's because everybody has somebody that hosts their podcast. You send your info to them, and then it's distributed from there to. We've got like 60 podcast sites it distributes to, and then it checks to see how many are coming from where. So it's all central at one, goes out. Well, they also had an app. They put the app out, and then after a while, Apple said, you got to do this, this, and this. They were always requiring more signatures and updates and upgrades for the people that actually own the stream, which is us. And we're working through a third party. So we had to work through them. So they just said, no, we're not going to do this anymore with anybody. So everybody that uses our host, the apps are gone. And the app we had, we've got thousands of people that download the show every week. And out of those thousands, I think there were something like 2,200 that exclusively used the app as a download portion. So it was a very small percentage. So we just said, hey, we don't need the app. Sorry.
And if you are using
That's
the
twice
app,
the size of our hometown.
it might still be working. Good for you. If
If it is, go away because go to a different. It's not going to be there. No, because I got a whole bunch of emails saying, "Where'd the podcast go? I haven't got it in weeks." It's like, it's not there. It's go it'll be anywhere else. And it's funny how many said, "Oh, well, I found it somewhere else."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the app doesn't work. It's not working. It's not going to work. But the podcast is still everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Google, Amazon.
Keep going. Keep going.
Deezer. It's on that one. It's on Podbean. It's on pod.net. I mean, there's so many YouTube podcasts. You can get it right here on YouTube podcasts.
Did not know that was a thing.
If you open your YouTube app and you're watching us on video, and you close the app, so there's no video, the sound goes away. But if you go to the podcast on YouTube and then close the screen, it'll keep playing the sound. That's how you get it.
Of a video segment.
If it's got to be on podcast. So our show
on podcast.
If you look at our library, it says live, videos, shorts, and podcasts. If you're listening on podcast, it's a video podcast, but you can also turn the video off and just listen to the audio.
If you buy YouTube Premium, it doesn't shut it off.
No. Well, right, on video either.
Yeah.
But you don't have to buy anything if you're just watching regular YouTube and watching the podcast version, which is all still.
You know what I was thinking about the other day?
That we confused everybody with all the stuff I'm just trying to tell them just now.
I think we do. I think you confuse people every week.
I do.
Yeah, because you have a knowledge base that's
just trying to get it all out.
Most.
I'm just trying to get it all, dump it out.
I remembered.
It's above average.
Where we were and where I was when we first had the discussion. I used the word podcast. I remember specifically that conversation.
I don't.
And
I
thought,
said, we have one. And you went, where?
Yes.
And I said, you got to go to our webpage and you got to download it.
I was like, this is what a podcast is. And you were like, yeah, we do that.
Yeah. And you're like,
and well, now they have a name for it. Yeah. Because we were doing podcast before
Jeff Storman put it on. Right.
Existed.
Jeff Storman put it out there on iTunes, but it was in a weird location that was my fault for not. Well, he says, okay, it's up there, but you need to do more, and I never did.
Too. I saw that it was an anniversary of the iPod, and that came out after you had already started uploading what became podcasts. So you guys were doing podcasts before the iPod existed. It wasn't called a podcast,
right?
Obviously. So that's kind of neat.
It was an Apple audio stream. I should have done more because when we first put it out there. There weren't very many. Mm-mm. And when we started our YouTube channel, there weren't very many.
I've just been hearing
but we weren't doing it every week.
Stories about people who are, the innovators of podcasts. That's what made me think of it. He's been doing a podcast since this time. And I'm like,
we did our show on a platform called Ustream, which was video. And I used to bring the cameras into the studio. That was a long.
Oh my gosh.
That was before you.
Well, yeah. And it was before
we did like a year's worth.
That was at Kello though, right?
Yeah, and we were getting about 30 views per, live views during the show, and we'd get maybe 50 or 60 for the whole week. And this is not going anywhere. This video stuff will never go anywhere. What I should have done was at that same time, I couldn't figure out how to get on to YouTube with the streaming software stuff.
I don't think it existed yet.
It was. You had to build your own, basically.
Yeah, uploading would have been
or had the big expensive machine. That's why I went to Ustream. That would have been great though, because then we would have been one of the first people on YouTube. And I don't know. There's probably, if you could see those numbers, probably a few of the people that started out in the beginning on YouTube are uber rich right now and have had giant channels. But I bet a lot of them never really went anywhere.
I don't think so.
Our channel's been out there a long time, but it really didn't do anything until we posted content. Why would people go if you're not you don't have content, right?
Same with the radio show.
Mr. Obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Ready? Break. Thanks, everybody.